Let's use adjustment layers inside Photoshop to clean up our layers and start to blend them together so it looks like one continuous natural scene. Let's get started. So here we are in Photoshop, and you can see that my first layer is very orange. It is not right at all. So with our layers palette, we've got some adjustment layers that we can apply to our project. So let's take a look. For this one, I'm going to use the color mixer or channel mixer. Let's bring properties over here. And here, of course, you can mask out your layer, your channel mixer, and any effect that you're going to do, just like any other layer. But let's start making some tweaks to this. Now, you can see here you've got output channel for blue, green, and red. So you can adjust these individually. So let's start with the blue. We'll pull out, say, less. And you can see it's really hard to change this because when I'm doing this, it's changing the whole image. Well, that's not what we would exactly want, right? So let's do something else. Let's hold down Alt. With this layer selected, let's hold down Alt and click on the line right between this layer and the one below it. Again, my effect is right above my actual layer that I want to control. So this effect here is controlling this one. So now if I make an adjustment to the layer, it's only affecting that layer and nothing else. So I'm going to tweak this now so that it actually looks somewhat correct. All right, and there we are. Now it's still not quite perfect, so we can add an adjustment layer to that yet. So let's do another one. This time, let's use hue versus saturation. And I'm going to hold down Alt again and click between that. Now I'm stacking these two adjustment layers are only reading this one layer. Now with the hue adjustment and saturation, I can adjust the hue of my image just by my layer just by clicking and dragging to the left or right. If I double click, it resets it. And I can adjust the saturation. So let's drop the saturation down a little bit, drag it slightly to the left, and maybe something like that. And that might work for this. Let's continue on to another layer and see what we can do. So on this next layer below it, it looks a little muted. So let's bring the saturation up. So again, adjustment. Let's try the vibrance this time. If I hold on Alt, drag that one in, select the vibrance layer. And here you don't have adjustments for like hue or anything. All you can adjust is the saturation and vibrance. Now the difference between vibrance and saturation is quite this. Vibrance adjusts all the muted colors within your image. So if I increase the vibrance, it's going to look at the less prominent colors in my layer and boost those. If I boost the saturation, it's going to boost the entire layer, so everything that's in there. So if you have something that's really blown out from the start, usually it's like a bright color like a red or a yellow. And if you have that already very saturated from the start, it's going to be exponentially louder. So most of the time you might want to adjust the vibrance and drop the saturation down a little bit to balance it out more. So let's add another one here. Let's go with, let's add a curves to this. And I'm going to hold down Alt to attach that. And again, I'm going to just kind of boost up my curves a little bit. And here, by making like an inverted S curve, something like that. Let's go up to this one here and create another one too. Let's add curves up there. All right, and we're going to do this continuously throughout the entire composition. So with that, now we've got some adjustment layers in here. We've isolated some adjustment layers so that they're only working on specific layers and not the entire project. And then we've actually composited our image to create something totally different. So there you have it. We've used various tools, various selections, layer masks, blending options, paths, adjustment layers, all these different tools already just to take a series of photos and create a whole new composition inside Photoshop. I hope this helps you on your next project. And until next time, keep creating.